Hello, hello. I'm Nienke from Ninks.com. Today I'll be showing you how to make this card using the supplies from the Gilded Autumn Suite in the August to December mini catalog. My website will be linked below. There you can download the free PDF, a project sheet with all the dimensions for this card, so no need to write it down now. I'm going to start with a piece of the designer series paper from the specialty paper. It's got the foiling on it. It's really beautiful paper, double-sided, and I'm going to use my fancy phrases punch and just punch the edges. My card base is crumb cake, and I've just taken an inch off the front flap. That will allow our designer series paper that we're going to stick in the inside to show through. I'm going to use this as a guide before I start stamping on my card base, to just give me an idea of where I want it to be. So that's about centered. I'm going to move it down about 1/8 of an inch and over about 1/8 of an inch. Then I'm just going to make myself little cheat lines to know exactly where I want to stamp. When we move this over and it's centered, it's going to cover up our pencil line, so no need to even rub that out. Okay, so now we can start our stamping. I'm using the beautiful Autumn Suite stamp set, part of that suite. It's really beautiful. It has the 2-step stamping in that we will be using on the little leaves. I'll show you that. Okay, for these I used Bumblebee color. It reminded me of the gold which goes with this stamp set. That's why I thought the Bumblebee will work well. Okay, you can do your stamping any way you like. Just going to follow my example here. One there. And then I'm just going to twist it a little bit and have one here. And then what I did with this little one, I just moved my stamp a bit. Because it's photopolymer, you can actually change the orientation of your stamp so that they don't all look the same. I'm going to put this one here. And you can put as many and as little as you like. And one last one. Here we go. I have my Stampin' Scrub, Stampin' Chamois next to me. I'm just cleaning that off while I'm doing it. Otherwise I end up an inky mess. Okay, now I'm going to take next one. Let's close this up. The next color I used is Cajun Craze. Let's grab that. Okay, I'm just going to put this in this little corner over here, whichever way. just so that it will peek out through there, and this one up there. Wiggle your stamps around a bit. There we go. While I have the Cajun Craze out, I'm just going to also stamp my sentiment. I use the My Heart is Grateful for You. I've got a little scrap here. I'm just going to ink that up and then centering as best I can. There we go. That's the sentiment done. Okay, so let's do these little leaves while we're busy. I've got a little piece of scrap crumb cake here, and we're going to do some two-step stamping. So first it's the outline, like so, and then we're going to fill it in. We have this little fill in stamp, and we're going to stamp off. Stamp off once, and then you just align this as best you can, pressing all your corners, get the ink to hold, and that's the inside of your leaf. The reason why we stamp up is so that we don't fill the whole the outline of the leaf, so that you can still have a darker shade for the outline. Okay, and that is our Cajun Craze done. Going to grab the early espresso, and while we're busy with the leaf, remember to always clean your stamps, because like now I've used it in the Cajun Craze and I don't want to get my project all different colors in between. Okay, do an early espresso. You can do whichever leaf you want of your choice. There's a beautiful maple leaf, there's some acorns. You can change your card up any way you want. Remember to stamp off once on a scrap piece, and then let's line this as best I can without getting my head in the camera. There we go. That's a pretty good job. Okay, what else we have? Okay, so now we're going to finish while we have the early espresso out. Let's finish. We have these small little leaves that are absolutely great for texture. I love them. I use them in so many cards already. Now one side makes like this little corner, so I'm going to stick this all the way in that corner. Give the ink some time to grab, and then I'm going to do the same ish with this one, I think. Let's see, how do I want it? That, like that. So it like that. We're not going to see all of them, they're only going to peek out from under the there we go. So that is our stamping on the outside of the card done. Now I also like to do my inside. That's the inside. So I have a piece of Very Vanilla, and let's quickly stamp that. Okay, I use this piece for my little scrap at the back to stamp off, because no one's going to know what's at the back. Great, I'm going to stick that in there yet. Let's grab our inks again. I should have done that while I have them out, right? Do the bumblebee first. This. Stick with this one. I'm just going to wipe off this little, I'm just wiping off the little stalk here because I don't want that to get onto my work surface. You can also get a piece of just scrap paper, but you can wipe it off too. And then the Cajun Craze. Let's close that up. Ooh. What you can also do, if you don't want the whole long piece, just put it to the end of your, just let it hang over the edge of the ink, and then the ink will only be up to there and you won't make a mess on your work surface. Okay, let's push that down. There we go. Clean off our stamp. And now all our stamping is done. We can pack this away. Okay, I have my snail over here. So I'm thinking I'm just going to use that. You can use multi-purpose liquid glue, the green one, Tombow, it works fine. I just like using the snail because I tend to use too much of the liquid glue. Now this paper doesn't really have an orientation, so it doesn't matter which way you put it. Just keep that in mind if you have a paper with an orientation, and I just like to check if I'm sort of centered before I stick this down. And then I have a little Cajun Craze matting for my sentiment, and I'm also just going to stick some glue on there. Center that. The thing with this is you don't have second chances. There we go, that's pretty good. And now I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm going to stick one in each corner. You can add, I'll probably stick one in the middle of, just being mindful of the rollers. Just going to grab these off. Seen great tricks on how to use all kinds of different tools. I'll try out the tools pretty soon. For now, we all have some long nails. There we go. That's all of them. So now I'm just going to stick this in the middle. That, let's see. Oh, that looks good. Now I have my little leaves that we stamped, and this beautiful little punch. You get 3 punches, the oak, the acorn, and also the little, what is it, maple leaf. I love this set. I like to turn my punch around so that I can see exactly how to get this centered. There we go. And I'm going to pop these up on dimensionals too. Stick one there. This one I'm going to show. And then these little leaves are so thin, we could have I always use the back side of my, there we go, back side of my cardstock for stamping off. Or let's put this on, oh, it doesn't matter, we'll do it the other way around now. You can also put them over there. Stick this one behind the sentiment, and then we're gonna put this one over the top of that one and just behind, and then just make sure it's not on your other leaf, otherwise it's going to be raised too high. There we go, that looks nice. Okay, so that is the outside of our card done. Now we can do the inside. I would suggest doing this strip first because this one is flush to your side, and then it'll be easier to center this one. So oh, look at that beautiful pattern on the other side. Where's my glue? Here we go. I rotate my base so that I can get things straight. It's easier for me to rotate the cardstock than to rotate my hands, and then it's easier to straighten. And our last little thing, no one's gonna know what happens on the back side, so use your cardstock for scrap, for tasting, for playing on the back side. It just saves money. Things is not cheap. Okay, and we just center that best we can, the sides. There we go. So that's the inside. This one has a life is better with you on the inside. We can do that if we want to real quick. I'll grab the early espresso and a little block. There we go. And just center this. I sometimes use my grid lines just to give myself an idea. Center as best you can. There we go. There's our sentiment also done. Okay, so that is our tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can go over to my website. It is linked below to get the free printable sheet with all the dimensions, as well as the supply list available on my site. And if you like the video, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share, and I'll be back pretty soon with another video for you. Bye bye.